Welcome to Myosh Academy. In this video, we'll be talking about the Actions module. We'll have a look at the creation, logging, and viewing of an action in Myosh using a computer. There'll be a separate video for logging actions through the Myosh mobile app. To get started, we need to select the Actions module in the left sidebar. This is where all your company's modules will be contained. Anytime we open a module, there will always be a View menu at the top. In the columns headings, we can filter what we see in the record list, such as showing only specific places or rearranging the columns in a different order. You can then save this view by giving it a name and deciding whether or not you make this view available to everyone in your company or keep it visible only to you. This saved view will now come up at the top in User Views. There are also colors and icons so you can see your actions and their statuses at a glance. In the top left-hand corner of your preview, there is the New Record button. This will allow you to open a new form, as listed above, to create a new record. You can see at the top of this form that it is within the draft stage, so until this is submitted, only you, the author, can view this. Having a look at the sections inside the Actions form, let's start with the hierarchy. This will automatically populate with the hierarchy of the user logged in. If you work over multiple sites or departments and want this action set to a specific one, you can change this here. In the next section, Responsible People and Workflow, we have the accountable person. This is the person who is ultimately responsible for overseeing the completion of this action. And the assigned person below this is the employee who has been assigned to complete this action. The date raised defaults to the date this record was created. You can also set a priority level. These are keywords you can change in the administration. The due date is by default a week later than the date created. You can change the default options in administration if you'd prefer these to be blank. The due date is super important, as this can trigger notifications if it remains incomplete past this date. You can click on the calendar icons to change any of these dates. You'll also notice that there is a date completed section in the draft stage. This is if you want to log an action that has happened in the past that you'd like to keep a record of. In the next section, the action details, you have the type, whether it is compliance, corrective, opportunity, or task. A project key, where you can select a project or add a new one. This allows you to filter via project names in the record list, so you can see what actions apply to what project. A brief description. You want to keep this as concise as possible, as this will be the description that is used in the record list, and also what is sent in email notifications to the relevant people. If you scroll a little further, you have Subscribe to Updates. Here you can add in specific people that may be interested in seeing how this action progresses. This will subscribe them to the same email notifications as the assigned and accountable person. You also have your History log, where you can add more details about the action and where others can log their responses to the action. This will create a chain of responses with an audit log. And finally, there is an attachment section where you can add in photos or relevant documents. Once all of your mandatory fields are completed, we can submit this action and it will appear in our actions record list. As a summary so far, we've created a record inside the Actions module. This is not the only place where actions can be created. They can also be created in modules such as the incidents, hazards, and injury reports. This saves you a lot of time, as you can create multiple records at once rather than jumping around to different modules. Whatever actions are created in different modules will show up in the Actions record list so you can view them all at once. To show you an example, we'll go to the Incident Reporting module and we'll have a look at an existing record. When you select a record, you can click Collapse All to see all the available sections in your form. Actions can be added or found under the Links section, as we are linking this particular record to another module. In this case, an action needs to be completed. If I press Edit, you can see I have the option to log a new action. This opens the action form we would get in the Action module, but we are creating it within the incident report. So when we go back to the Actions module, we can see that that action was made inside of an incident report, but it's also coming up in our Actions record list. You can also extract PDFs or Excel spreadsheets using the Export button. And you can use the view filtering options we spoke about earlier if you're only wanting specific ones. And lastly, in the left sidebar next to the Actions module, If there is a numbered notification, these are the amount of actions you are either the assigned to or the accountable person for, which you can quickly view at a glance by hovering your mouse over them. That brings us to the end of creating, logging, and viewing actions. Thank you for watching.